Hi there and welcome to Light4Youth Academy. In today's video, today's workshop will be covering something that is very close to my heart, and that is simply helping our youth to become paid people of value. Right? The whole idea is for them to get clarity that they need in order for them to get help in terms of unemployed youth. If you're an unemployed youth and maybe you feel stuck in your life, maybe right now, I know this is now that time whereby we are trying to figure out what is it that we'll be doing in the next coming, in fact, this year 2026. So yes, if this is something that is that you'll be interested in, then please join me on this workshop. So I'll be helping our youth to find something that I called becoming paid people of value. All right. Yes, my name is Piolo Ntuka, and I'm a youth career and transformation coach. I work with the youth to see if I can help them to, to become unstuck in their lives and also in their career. All right. So what we'll be covering today on this workshop, because today is just about hope, it's about the direction, and it's also about action, taking action. This is something very, very close to my heart, Mutswadi, Luena Mucha, and I'm hoping that you'll actually get something out of this workshop, get some value. So let's check quickly the things that we'll be covering on this workshop. The first one is why youth stuck today. They are stuck most of the time. I know right now, they've got challenges in terms of what is that they will be doing 2026 in terms of their career, in terms of their progress, career growth, and so on. And then we'll also cover the 5 pillars your child needs to succeed. If Umucha, we'll cover the 5 pillars I believe they can help you to sort of, succeed in your career. And then also to explain fully in detail what is a paid person of value. When I talk about a paid person of value, what exactly am I talking about? All right. And then the habits that shift a young person's life. We need to talk about things that I call habits of winners, habits of champions. All right. And then we'll go to look at the skills the new world needs, that the work, people who are employing people who, those people they're employing people, the things that they really pay for, right? Your next step also to help your child become a paid person of value, and how to start this journey today, and how parents can support the process, right? Let me show you this thing step by step, right? So now, what is more important right now? Let's look at who this workshop is for. This workshop is mainly for youth that are unemployed, or maybe they've tried so many things but they are not sure what to do anymore, so they feel stuck, struggling emotionally, and they are not sure as part of their next step. And then lacking confidence, because they affect our confidence as well. Those who need some kind of to improve their self-discipline, because discipline is key for anybody to succeed. For you to succeed, you need to have some kind of a massive discipline, right? With potential but no direction. Some people, some of our young children, they've got potential. You can see that they've got potential, but now they need some kind of a guidance. They need some kind of a direction. And those of course that who are tired of feeling left behind. Yes, early this morning I was talking to one of my former student. Now so he said, hey, you know what, I'm tired of feeling behind. My peers are progressing, but I'm not sure now get as well. And then I said, no man, we still have got a lot to do. You can come join me in my program as well, right? And then also those who need coaching and mentorship. and then also those who are ready and willing to learn and change, and also those who are willing to commit for 24 weeks of intensive practical activities. You have to commit yourself if you are really serious about transforming your life, all right? And then who is this workshop not for? It's not suitable for youth or parents who are looking for quick fixes instead of real growth, and those parents who are expecting overnight miracles, because success comes with a lot of work. You have to pull the sleeves and do the work, right? Those who are unwilling to commit, to doing the right thing. Sometimes we have to be comfortable with doing the uncomfortable things. That's something that I always encourage my clients, all right? Those who feel they have everything figured out, if you already have a plan, everything's going well, then this thing is probably not for you. And then, of course, those who are expecting success without effort, we need to put effort for us to succeed. All right. So, just going forward, like I said, my name is Piolo Ntuka. I was born and raised in Sharpeville. And the reason why I created Light4Youth Academy was simply because of I had my nephew who's very close to my heart, and for some reason he didn't have an opportunity to go to school. He only went up until lower grade, say it's about woman grade 4. So that inspired me to find ways on Angam to Sakai, because when you've got everything, when you feel like you are successful, but every time you come home you realize man bana ba iloring bashoka thuso ya hao. They just don't have, they just can't find that help. So I said, why not share my experiences and my knowledge with these young ones, so that I can help them. Of course, I'm a youth and career transformation coach, author of The Path to Light, this book that you see here. Yes, I'm author of this book, The Path to Light. And if, let's say, you need a copy, please, you can simply DM me, or you can simply WhatsApp me. If you go to my website, www.light4youthacademy.com, you'll find my information there. You can simply place an order. All right. Yes. And I'm a former telecom SA operations specialist and manager. 8 years of coaching youth and helping parents with their children, and also helping families to build a strong future leaders, which means this is now our children. All right. Yes. And then if you look at the stats as they showing us there's about 46.1% of unemployed youth, and then 37.1% of need rate, which means most of our youth, they are not in any employment, in any education, and also not in any training. So these numbers, they are too sabatwadi. We need to find a way on our to sabanaba so that basket right. And then nearly, in fact, those ones who are able to get to tertiary education, we've got about 13% of those who are able to get to tertiary education. And of course, there's about 5 million of unemployed young people, they are being affected by this thing, right? And then digital jobs are rising, but unfortunately, the Tolabanabarunabase prepared for these types of opportunities. Unfortunately, what is happening now, you are not failing as a parent, but the system failed to prepare our children. So we need to find a ways down, all right? So one of the problems that we have, this is now, which is the problem. These are the problems that the affect or bastake. One of them is no clarity, no clear identity confusion. So yeah, so they don't know who they are, and therefore it's difficult for them to know where they want to go. Low discipline, low focus, lack of focus and systems. This is now distraction, because distraction overweigh direction. So that is something that is affecting Banavarona also. So we need to look at those things, distractions. We work on social media, we work on negative influence. There's just a lot that already affect the progress. And again, no real world skills. I'm talking about soft, hard skills and digital skills. Those are the skills that already so we really need to find a way out now, so that they can succeed and they can progress. Right? So limited digital skills, unfortunately, the fascinating now the digital era. Digital skills are very, very important right now. So because the world is changing faster, So we need to find a way to adapt. All right. So no guidance, no mentorship, no coaching is another one that affect our progress. And then a rapidly changing job market. Unfortunately, the job market is changing very, very fast. So that comes with feeling overwhelmed. That's why sometimes this thing iba feel like lost, lose hope. So very, very important. Negative influence is another one. Negative influence, very, very serious. Social media, I'm not sure now how much time does your child spend watching on their cell phone, whether they are on any platform. But I know the reason why Baba distracted because of they spend most of the time. I sometimes keep telling my children, the people who are making it are those they are creating value. That thing that you are watching, there's somebody who made time to create it so that we're now born. But those people are benefiting and they are getting rewarded for creating that value, especially if you are watching something alluring you for value. So those things are very, very important. So if your child is stuck, it's not because of they are lazy, it's because they were never guided through the new world. We are living in the new world right now. A lot of things teaching Chile, right? And if you are seeing this in your home, remember you are not alone. These things affect it's affecting most of us. All right. So let's look at the negative influence. Part of it is toxic friends. You might find a lot of negative friends influence negatively. It's always good to know especially how you are raising a teenager. Even they still need to be monitored, mentored, and babele some kind of a coaching. That's why the best coaching right? Social media distractions peer pressure, social pressure it's affecting lack of structure or systems. That's another one. When you don't have some kind of a structure, some kind of a plan, that thing affect the progress. Low value content consumption. Earlier on, they are consuming a lot of content. It's of low value, high value. They are sitting there spending about 8 hours on social media, doing other stuff. Sometimes they are not really contributing to a goal. It's even worse, how long one a goal. So we need to make sure that we teach them this type of things. And then there's something that I call mental health pressure. Mental health pressure, very, very serious. In fact, this one affects there's just too much pressure. Because remember, we think, we feel, and then we act. So if we think negative stuff most of the time because of the things they observe, hence social media easily accessible to the total party. Anyone but attention. Right now I'm on this workshop live trying to get attention of Batswadi. Come here, join me. Right? Default philosophy behavior. Something default philosophy, which is simply mean uthola dintho di operate ka tsela e so nakong whether you're wrong or right, you simply follow. This one is very, very serious because remember, our philosophy comes from our knowledge, the knowledge that we've been building over the years, your experience, your wisdom, everything that we've been building over the years. It's actually become your philosophy of life, philosophy of living. And then obviously wrong and toxic environment. The environment that we live in sometimes. I was fortunate to the environment in Sengata different from harmonic and also in terms of work. I was fortunate to on different departments, and then I observed working with a lot of different people from different provinces. So that also helped me a lot in terms of understanding the environment. Sometimes you find yourself in surrounded by toxic people, toxic environment. Everything that you consume or everything that you see is just negative. Sometimes it's really negative, even negative end up right. So these are things already born. Sometimes when you go the plugins editing. When you look at this thing, you can see this thing is wrong, man. It's a but because of the society, it's a twaite. Harasabona lori in a post. That's why Banabarona by adopting these things, and then they change the other affector, and then from there the affector as well. Unfortunately, we don't see growth, about who labor stack. So these are the things that in serious that I'm already about. Then I will work pain hours because there's things that already affect our whole. And what we want as Batswadi mostly it's peace of mind. And joy, inner peace. I usually talk about inner peace. In fact, this is something that I talk about it on my book here, the Light4Youth Academy, the Path to Light book. This is something that I talk about, 10 transformational principles for joy and success and inner peace. Direction is something that we want for our children. We want them to have some kind of a direction. Progress, we want them to progress, even if it's a tiny progress. Just a little tiny progress, that help a lot. All right, independence as well. We want them to be independent. Forever, I made na Mudimo who pull a name which I hore, a honor at old trainer, a honor again a born into the Joalo, Hadi Hand. So we want our children to be independent, but be successful. By it is a mapilo, Libona, by it is Ascari, the asset is all the building, Abasa, the Marino gets a high, because I know these things there to Halam Sodwaka. So we also want them to succeed both in life and also in their career. Also legacy, but what about our legacy? It will be nice, part of the writing books, part of creating this type of content. It's the legacy. Even one hour, one time man, that who look up on Hono, ule ansiela knowledge ena so I learned this thing from Hono. Sometimes can alone hana the way to hutinga thing. And Dadanzwalang was a mechanic. He knew a lot about cars. In fact, he was, those guys were multi-talented. But sometimes can alusha barengare ngabe alan shudela some kind of a video nyana. No tunyane and try motzing or in twena ifix or cancellation. How na butata bujena wita. So teneri tutile zona za kenaga show. But now it's a low you show. Kare Ufomugabela mola bugam futauna. Something yana inyane lo motlare. Mashale nagi tutile ngona over the years ke ana. So but what the legacy is important. Let's make sure that whatever that we do, we try to document somehow so that it fits to the next generation. So that is very, very important. And then of course, and I believe you want them to you want to really by sharing these ideas and tools and the resources that you gave them. All right. So, and then why parents matter. Very, very important that we understand our role, because our role, number one, is very, very powerful. And we are the one below Banaba believer more. Unless I know you don't have some kind of a connection. I usually say connection before correcting. Sometimes we become aggressive, but you don't have the emotional connection. That's why sometimes Banaba resist about cooler. Why cooler? Because now, why are you cooler? We cooler because there's no that connection. Especially separately, maybe but even if you but you are fully involved, your presence matters right? And those who they support, support is very, very serious. Unconditional support, those support a fellow 1920. Right? And then those ones they give you access to the new beginning, because remember, as Mutswadi, you are like the bridge. When I look whoever modeling to jump to the other side. So you are your child's bridge. Even when I feel stuck, you are the bridge and come to South at wherever modeling. Experience knowledge. Sometimes feel like bad thing. We don't have tools and resources. Mare Butimba how fella very, very important. So some of the real root cause the under identity theory. Sometimes one this question who am I? what can I do? Those type of questions. Where do I belong? You know, sometimes we want to feel lost because hana the answer. And then what future do I see? And so on. So very, very important. So the big mistake youth try to fix their life without fixing their inner self. Part 1 of the book here, search for your inner self. This is now trying to figure out who you really are and understanding your abilities, your capabilities. So now this body highly so, this mind, this this brain, these feelings, attitude, all those things are very, very important. How do you control your attitude? How do you talk? How do you, like your inner self? How do you communicate with the outside world? Very, very important. So let me introduce you to the framework that we use here at Light4Youth Academy. Because now the new world of work has changed from the industrial era to the digital era. But unfortunately, school didn't change. We are still having those challenges. We are still using mostly all of the total data. Look at the industrial era. Parents were not taught this. We were never being prepared for what is happening now. Life, the AI, hey man, let me say it in man, you will realize so we really need people who we can sort of adapt very quickly. The sooner we adapt, the better. Okay, so that because our youth feel lost and the total to be honest, they are outdated. We need to start updating because we are our own product. We need to update ourselves. Our programs we must also really update them. All right, and then the framework that we use at Light4Youth Academy is only 5 steps. The first one is identity discovery. This is where I spend most of the time. Let's assess now what are the things that are important here now. I'm talking values, I'm talking interest, I'm talking passion, I'm talking strength. Sometimes we focus too much on the weak point, we avoid, and then we ignore the strength of someone. So helping you to understand who they are, what they are good at, and what makes them valuable. Clarity before strategy. We have to be clear. Before about themselves before we can give them the strategy. Step number 2 is foundation and discipline. This one is big. This discipline, because it affects behavior. Right? Building the habits, building the behavior, building focus, and emotional strength. Strong moye. Because now going to at any time anything can happen. So how do you deal with the very, very important, because now these things no matter how shape their future, good or bad. So discipline build confidence. So as soon as build the discipline, self-discipline, which is chapter 9 by the way of this book, the path to life. Because I use this book as a foundation. Every time people say how this is the guide, I use it as the guide. All right. Step number 3, you develop soft skills and emotional intelligence. Controlling how they feel. Attitude is just time. Improving communication. I'm talking about soft skills. Improving communication, improving their behavior, improving their teamwork, improving their responsibility, leadership, all those things, because the people pay for reliability. Nobody wants to work with somebody as in trustworthy, as in reliable. So soft skills are very, very important. The certificate academic qualification will open a door for you, but once you are inside, you need soft skills, to progress. All right. So very, very important that we teach our children these things at work. All right. And then digital skills and value creation, which is now step number 4. Step number 4 is digital skills and value creation. Learning the practical skills the world pays for. Very, very important. The market has changed. The facility demand a lot from us. They demand a lot from Manabarona, happy. So we need to teach them to create value. And that value is something alluring, the world, and it's something people are willing to pay for. This is the reason why I talk about paid person of value, getting rewarded for the effort and the value that you provide to the marketplace. Very, very important. So value attracts income. This is the reason why if we can teach them how to create value, not just consume, because now the problem is they keep on consuming all the time. They consume. Social media, very, very powerful. But what the thing that they are consuming there could be poison, could be good. But imagine if Bona they were intentionally so great in value, and the value in the marketplace. Very, very important. I spend most of the time on step number 4 because this is now the transformation step. We need to make sure that they understand what is value. They understand their skills. They understand their inner self. They understand what does the world needs. The market unfortunately high rate. So we have to teach them to have that eye. That mindset. Now, Emma, if there's a problem, if I come up with a solution, then that is value that we are talking about. Especially a value to somebody. The more it is about, the better for them to get rewarded, right? So step number 5, key career pathway, readiness and growth. This is where now the growth is landing. Preparing youth for universities, the TVET, work, entrepreneurship, or digital earning. That is readiness, to make sure that they are more employable. They've got skills. This is the value that I can give. This is the value that I can offer to your business. Because that's where the people they want value. They want people that can offer value. All right. So readiness, very, very important, because if Bale ready, Bale more prepared for the real world, the things they demand, that is where they will succeed. So success will actually come from their readiness. All right. Identity, unfortunately, if they are confused, identity confusion leads to no vision, leads to no self-belief, leads to no clarity on their strength. Very, very important. So we need to make sure that they understand their strength. We need to make sure that they understand, because now this is where their confidence rises, if they understand their strength. But purpose give them direction. If they know what is the reason why they wake up early in the morning. Because sometimes hana plan, the whole day of class hana plan. So that thing is very, very critically affect their growth. So we have to make sure we lay the good foundation so that baskana baya kwana lukwana basati na huitala. So let me introduce you again to our model here at Light4Youth Academy. Something that we call career success pyramid. On the lower level, you've got the foundation. This is now personal development. This is where we really, really dive deep into negative influence elimination. We eliminate anything that is causing them to stuck. Negative influence elimination. Right? So this is now the first part. This is now discovery. They have to discover themselves, their strength, their inner world. Self-image. Remember, there's something with about self-image. If their self-image is more positive, so that means now, if you that image impactable. So we have to make sure we build a more positive self-image. Must be a more positive one, so that they build that confidence. So level 2 is academic. This is more most of the people we focus more. We want to drive our children into the academics, but very ignore the foundation. And the third level, key skills, soft skills, hard skills, digital skills. Unfortunately, with the current I tell them, you need 3. You need the foundation, you need academics, you need the skills. And then that is what is going to give you the level 4, which is now career growth, career success growth. You become a person of value, somebody who value in the world, somebody who become demand in the marketplace because of the value that you are offering. So unfortunately in South Africa, you need those 3. Academics alone no longer enough. unfortunately, this thing is very sensitive, but this thing, like, hey man, hey, ngwana ka ha ka mpathola lengolo. Lengolo lokile le thole motswadi ba re hloka ability skills re hloka gore the foundation must be good. Foundation ke bua ka discipline, ke bua ka good behavior, ke bua ka character, ke bua ka how they represent themselves, including ntho tse tshwana le bo moaparo, ngwana o apara jwang ha hlaha setjhabeng batho ba mo bona le motho jwang. Very very important, something e loreng re hloka re nkele hlong. The PAL model e mo re sebisang ke philosophy, which is the first part. The second part ke attitude ke na how do they their attitude against the past, the present and the future. How do they feel about the past? How do they feel about the present? How do they feel about the future? Very very important motswadi hore o tsebe ntho tse bojwale, because nako ngwana o fitile ntho tse ngata tse bohloko. So already we have a bad attitude against the past. And now you affect the present, you affect the future. So we have to look at those things. Activity. What activities do they take on a daily basis? Because activities now is not the great and the habits, good or bad. So we need to make sure we monitor those things. And then unfortunately, those three things that affect, mentioning knowledge, which is the philosophy, their guiding system, attitude and activity, they affect their results. And if their results, if they are not getting the good results, that means now it affects their lifestyle. Similarly, if we were to go back, lifestyle, if lifestyle young one I see we can tell already they are probably not getting the good results. This also affects them in school. Activity, they are not taking activity, they are not taking action, and that builds a negative attitude. And also it means the philosophy that they are using, the knowledge that they are consuming is not really helping to correct this thing. So we need to make sure that we make them understand that this PAL model that I'm explaining: philosophy, attitude, activity, results, and then followed by lifestyle. All right. So very, very important to understand these things. So the things they need to learn and rediscover ke tsona tsene se ke di buile. Re bua ka strength, re bua ka personality, re bua ka values, re bua ka passion, re bua ka future identity. Motho I understand hore ke a kae ke tswa kae, what they are naturally gifted in. Re rata o ignore di talent tsa bana kana go motswadi. We ignore their talents, we ignore their skills. We ignore the things they already have, because now, unfortunately, the mindset that we have from Khalel Haneruhula, we focus on the weak points. We focus on one had to be in, but then we ignore any item because we are focusing on any aside. So we really need to look at that. In 2050, most of Vanabarona, they use cell phone, they can use a laptop, very, very easy. There's apps they by the but sometimes maybe they just play games. They are not learning anything. It's close. Very, very important. So some of the questions identity how far to go and check unahana jwanga these things as mutswadi. First question who are you when no one is watching? You know, when that thing yauri dance like nobody's watching. So nakongwe ha ngwana li wan moaleng ale bongwe ba hai by understand more. So try to find out now who are they when no one is watching. And then second question ki what comes naturally to them without effort. So we need to identify those things. In fact, sometimes I fully present. Those things you can be able to see them from as early as 2 years about. So you start noticing those things. So those things because of Remkenya school be re patatsa ni di talente tsa hae tse modimo mo fileng tsona le bohlale ba hae ba tlhaho re shebana di enough. That's why ke buileng ka the 3 layers still very important: the foundation, academics and the skills. We need those 3 for ngwana at sometimes even without the academic ka foundation le the skills ba ntse ba khona go ba ka etsa bophelo. Because ke na le situation se jwale I have my nephew le ke buileng ka yana ke he's more of my inspiration. Unfortunately ha ka bana le monyetla wa hore I can school jolo ka bana ba bang o feletse fela di grading tsa ntse fatshe. So he was relying on the foundation, the skills. I came coach on the foundation, and the skills, but at least now o kgona ho iketsetsa bophelo, o kgona ho tswela pele, o kgona ho bona mo bothata boleng a tle ka solution and get paid, and o sebedisa talent ya hae ya ho roka e modimo mo fileng yona, and then other things e le hore o kgona ho iketsetsa tsona ka matsoho a hae, right? So o sebedisa the skills le foundation. But if ngwana hao a le fortunate hore e be le academic ya hae e right, o na le mangolonyana a itseng kapo sekolong o collecta mangolo a itseng, le re mo fa foundation, re mo fa the skills, then ngwana no chance tsa ha no atleha di banyane ka o tshojalo ha re tswele pele motswadi. And then another thing, what problems do people trust them for them to help them? Ka mantswe ke ntshwetso le reng batho ba bang ba mo tshepa ka di problem, like ona le ngwana mongwe le go fela wa tseba hore yes, he may not be that smart sekolong, but how ka mo bitsa ba o thuse ka ntwe etse, maybe ke plan B, maybe ke ntho tsona le mtlakase, maybe it could be anything, koloi mhlomong una le ntho ngwe itseng garden, no ba bang ba talented, it could be anything, o jala man. So we need to identify those things, because those are the skills tailoring bana le tsona modimo ba file tsona, and for that they are able to change the world, they are able to contribute positively to the world, right? And then another one key, what kind of future do they see when they close their eyes? This is now the vision. They keep on talking about, this question, if money was not a problem, if everything was like that, I gave you everything. If money is not a problem, question, what is it that you will do, Manaka? So that is when you start realizing, if we remove everything about any objections, anything, but this is now, here you are, you have all the resources that you need in life, no problem, but for support, you got all the support you need. What will you do? What is it that you will do, Manaka? That will not have how very smart, and the ideas did look like so tsena tse loring ke tse senyang tšhelete ha re di nke lehlong, re batla tsena tse lore di na le value e itseng, o mo ra eno nka forma my own charity, nka qala business, nka etsang. So that is why o tlo bona ngwana ha o hlale, right? Ha re tswele pele motswadi wa ka. And another one ke, what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel curious, and then what makes you feel excited? Those things very, very important. Okay. Again, another one, who do you want to be known for? Very, very important. If everything was perfect in this world, what is it that you want to be known for? And then who do you want to become? Remember, very, very critical. But now the intro chinchile. So what do you want? You check the answer of fanyona or check out the skills that are relevant to that. Body link or find some kind of it. That's basically what I do. I get out as someone, get all their strength, get all or discover their strength. Now we check out now. Once we discover that what of options A4, A5, A6, then what you want to do, you take that, you check on the third level here the skills, soft skills, digital skills, and hard skills. Academic, and then from there, don't forget about foundation, because it's the first pillar. This is the first level of the pillar. That's why it's so. Remember the way pyramid build one, then the first layer must be the strongest. So the foundation, unfortunately, we ignore it. And everywhere else, lead column, matichera busy. You have to meet the target. Hapala illa principal a tla mona o qetile syllabus ba re ye nka ke qetile syllabus ba rona ngwana o thotseng ha thola eng ntho bohlokwa fela go ha o makua mane a thole pass, then we are happy. But unfortunately the world right now chinchile motswadi wa ka ha isa sebetsa jwalo. So a young person who can answer these questions is already in the path to becoming a paid person of value. If ngwana ha o potsotse ile nga o botse ka di beya monana a ka di araba, then we know you are looking at something else. And then let's quickly look at soft skills upgrade. Skills they are able to turn a young person into someone trustworthy. All right. The first one, which is the biggest one, is communication. bana ba rona luckily they are able to communicate well. Most of them, because of most of them ba kena dikolo tse lo ba rutwa ke makgowa sekgowa ha sa le bothata. Not only the language but how they present themselves, because una ntwana go nning ke na lo bona bana ba ka bana nning tla ba mo thwa go lo etsa speech mano ngotsi a lo ema ka pele. I remember una fiene motho nona le yona ha o tlamea go eme ka pele o be mantswe a mabedi a mararo ka sekgowa bantu e ne re traumatize some of us. Ha ke tsebe wena motswadi mo tswang teng le gore na o kene sekolo kae, but rona o tsebe from bokopanong mane bo itse everything ne re etsa ka Sesotho le mohlodi ne ntse re etsa sekgowa ka Sesotho, Sesotho ka sekgowa le sekgowa ka Sesotho. Jwanong ha o fitla mane bo tertiary first time o rutwa ke lekgowa na lekgowa le qadileng ruta first time ha ke fitla tertiary ka 1995 ke kena Valtech. First time ho kena lekgowa le ruta everything ka sekgowa le beletswe. Be ke thola only absorbed about 10% of whatever na ibua, so I have to go back to bala manually just to make sure we understand communication with the outside world and communication with your inside world, how things that you are telling yourself. Self-talk, self-talk, that little voice behind your ear in all the time. That does sometimes you find into you create a fear, you find into negative. So very, very important that we make Banabarona baby aware of the self-talk, because sometimes spoiler the things they learn they are telling themselves. Confidence is on the second one. The second like a confidence. You affect and to confidence. If confidence are really low, if banally self-doubt that thing leon able to respect respect how na motho sa bateng o sebetsa le ngwana a sa hlompheng kapa a sa itlhompheng. So motswadi, those things re di etsang ka tlung ngwana o ithuta ka tsona, bana ba ithuta mo ka o bona ntho tse re di etsang more than tse re ba jwetsang bona. Kana o be wa mkhalemela but mkhalemela ntho ile go le wena o potela ka khona wa etsa ngwana wa o bona. So respect very, very serious. Ha re ba hlomphe le rona ba tsebe ho hlompha ho thwa moholo a hlomphe a monyane, so that a monyane le yena a hlomphe a moholo. Problem solving very, very important under the soft skills. Ha re rute bana ba rona hore ba solve a problem. Sometimes ntho e dutse wrong ha e nke a ilukisa hantle, re mo rute ntho eo mo e thotseng teng e khutsetse teng. Ha o e thotse di tjena, you rather o nke ntho e robileng le ka we fa bophelonyana and then we khutisa ile hantle. So leave it better than you found it. Ka mantswe responsibility ena na e bohlokwa haholo. Teach bana ba rona ba be responsible for maphelo a bona, ba be responsible for the actions tsa bona, ba be responsible for all the things e le gore di bohlokwa. So the things that we need to help them with, we need to help them to build daily routines tse hantle. These ones ke tsona tse build and the good habits, winning systems, about to so form some kind of a system of some kind of a structure. Ngwana tsebe from atwa saying daily routine ya yeme jwang, nako ya bala yo kae, nako ya hore aba bala yo kae, nako ya phone yo kae, lore ke nako e kae, time management, priority management. Those things are very, very important. And really re ba thuse ka tsona kaofela bane. Unfortunately nako yona ya matha and nako ha ina hore, because ba bang ba itsetsa re ntse ke le monyane mucha. But then be go tse le bona be leng hore motho ne neng tsa bula mahlo a to are ha a sheba a fumana hore ke na ona le monsina ke tsa 50 ya re mona wentse mona since u hlaha mona ka 50 years ya hao mona. Now you are 50, but when you look back, hey man, you have become so disappointed. I remember you had a blueprint. Blueprint was that by the time I reach a certain age, that we achieve the 1, 2, 3. I don't know if mutswadi wa ukila wa ikukila sheba mra wa re. Hani watsana ke nahana hore mona ha se ke na le motse kana ka 20 years. Kapo ka 50 years yaka tla ke na le koloi tse 100 ke na le bo mme mhloma ha ba o mega ponta ha ba motho ntate o re man ka hola nka be ke na le bontate ba bahlano ba nsupportang ha ke tsebe go na o nona le blueprint e jwa mare something e loring you find hore if things were right ne tla me ke na le matlo a 20 ke na le eng those things ka ofela tsena o iplela tsona mare. Sometimes it's good to when you look back, you smile and say, you know what? I'm still healthy. Those little things you can appreciate or be grateful for. Very, very important. Focus. And then from there, we need to help them focus. ba build the habits hantle. Phone boundaries, very, very important to manage phone because the phone is not easily accessible to the world. Right? Emotional intelligence, like I touch, accountability, accountable for their actions. So now your child is not the problem, but they simply need a system that works. Unfortunately, the repeller system is not really working well, and I'm not sure how now if our government or whoever in charge, if banally on a plan, but sometimes when you ask yourself, do they really have a plan for what is happening now? Because we are still using the things we are just keep on repeating them. And if we don't do anything about it right now, they are going to take the same thing and then translate into their children. So let's be careful of that because it's going to happen if there is a digital skills get recommend because remember once we identify skills, we rebuild a foundation, we identify the skills. Now we need to give them some kind of a digital tools because in the digital world has recommend technology. I'm not talking about this one but because now varsity bar laptop first time one at laptop logona ila re etsa ne re ha ke opolane ke kena first year ka 1995 ke kena Valtech first time ke bona computer ke dula pla computer ke tshwara ke sheba computer in a programming in a DOS kana go ke hopola that screen se setso so no so ka bona le bo di Windows no so ka bona le ntse tswana le bo di mouse no tlamle o ithute di code tseo le di command tsa teng tse ne re sa di understand kana go di directory di ing I still remember hanyanyana to ba tla so let's make sure we understand re ba go digital skills ki bua ka tsenka dimension di ngata haholo ba tsenka dimension tse malwanyana ke graphic design, content creation, video editing, basic freelancing, AI tools, digital marketing, affiliate marketing, drop shipping, drop servicing, website building, AI tools. There's too many and lots of AI tools. Online store building. That thing we see every time how your website thing you take a lot to utliga oreka. They can learn how to build those type of things. Copywriting, very, very important. Copywriting by if you had two books, let's say you're supposed to choose between two books. A1 how to become a millionaire. That's the title number one. The other title is very millionaire pathway, something like that. Which one would you take? So most of the people will say, I'll take the one ring, how to become a millionaire. Why? Because of that is the copyright. That copy because that's copywriting in case you put out copywriting. Yeah. So these are things that very, very important. Digital work habits by two theory, but related to digital skills. And a lot more but the whole idea is they must be aligned with their strength, they must be aligned with their values, they must be aligned with their values. Most importantly, they must be aligned with the market, what the market needs. The market the market then people will be willing to reward you for that. So youth has to begin to solve problems, offer value, support others, create small services, earn their first income by exchanging, by giving something good towards the market and get rewarded for it. That's how they will get rewarded, make that income, build confidence, very, very important, improve self-discipline, as well as become adults. Right? So now, career pathway, career pathway readiness. A young person's future opens when they are ready. Career readiness, because right now, unfortunately, most of them are not ready for the real world. Career success is no longer about pathway, but it's about readiness. They might have to be ready. So youth need clarity. Do I study? Do I work? Some of the questions everybody puts out on: do I study? Do I work? Do I start something small, or do I start my own business? So they need to be clear on that. Okay, readiness means they can show up, they can communicate well, they can learn fast, and they can also add value. That is what we're talking about here, right? So when youth understands their identity, skills, direction, choices become easier. When they understand those things, they can easily make choices. So a well-prepared and guided young person can thrive in university, in TVET, even in a job or as an entrepreneur, because they are well-prepared. So we need to make sure that they are prepared for the current world, the digital era. So this is basically why I created Light4Youth Academy. This is the reason why I created the program Yaga Coaching Student Success Accelerator program where we help them to succeed. Because when youth are ready, opportunities stop passing by. They get more opportunities because they are ready. Because happy they can easily identify an opportunity that is relevant to their skills, because they already know where is their strength, so they can easily sort of pinpoint opportunities offer a value. Very, very important. So if let's say you are interested in the program that I'm offering, simply join the ASAP waiting list. I have a waiting list. You'll find the link in my website. I'm gonna give you the website. The name of the website is www.light4youth academy.com. If you go to www.light4youthacademy.com website yaga, you'll be able to join the waiting list. I'll interact with you, the whole information. If let's say one-on-one, I'll explain in details on our program as well, right? So please, if you feel there's a value there, especially like this program is designed for Banaba, they are stuck. They are trying to find some kind of a way, maybe to high. So the program comes, it's a 24-week, which is 6 months. It has got one-on-one coaching and mentoring, 1 hour one-on-one, group coaching, and greater VIP community. I have this community and then in personalized coaching plan. The plan is unique. It's not one of those one goal for all. No. Reanalyze rediscover his uniqueness, and then from that we are able to identify the skills and career pattern, build a action plan, because the whole idea what we call a paid person of value. Okay, so this is the whole transformation. Weekly reports, the weekly reports, free digital skills starter kit. We do everything there. So I encourage you to join my waiting list by visiting my website www.light4youthacademy.com. Your child's potential has not disappeared. The potential higher disappear is still there. It simply needs the right environment so that we can wake it up happy. So your legacy starts today. And in closing, let's walk and light this path together. Thank you for attending this workshop. I hope you got some value from this workshop. Until I see you next Thursday. Remember, I'll be running these workshops every Thursday at 7. So maybe if I want to you can always join me. And then or otherwise you can simply contact me via my website or my WhatsApp number, which you'll find also on my website. Lastly, the website is www.light4youthacademy.com. Bye bye.